All right, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of Silver Sticks tournament here from Westchester, PA. Yesterday, Team Philadelphia won 3-0 over Snyder. Today's game is against the New York City Cyclones, who lost to the Jaguars yesterday, 6-1. So just a recap. The format Silver Sticks is instead of 3 periods, there will be 2 halves of 22.5 minutes each. At the intermission of the first half, they do an ice cut in which they'll pause and teams will go to locker rooms and then come back out. Coach Wolf talking to the boys, getting them all ready. And we're missing one person. And Aiden Bobs. All right, looks like we're all set. I just saw a notification. Looks like we may have an internet issue, but stay tuned. Puck's dropped. Sent over to opposite side. Colin over to retrieve it. Ricky sends opposite side back over to Fisher. Fisher drops it deep. Lucas on the backside, looking for a forecheck. Kicks it out opposite side. Cyclones try to gather it in the corner. Takes a weird bounce. Lucas back over. Try to pick it up. Again, took an odd bounce. Back out to the point to Ricky. Ricky, shot on goal. Gets deflected out front, picked back up clean for Lucas. Lucas shot, score right out of the gate. Picked up, defensive zone turnover by the Cyclones. Lucas, top shelf at the 22:02 mark for the first score of the game. So Team Philadelphia starts off hot. 02 mark for the first score of the game. So Team Philadelphia starts off hot. So Fisher, Peruto, Cusa out onto the ice. Thies and Lang back with them. Peruto gets it. Try to control it. Now back to the backboard. Picked it up. Tries to get around the defender. Now picked up by Fisher. Control of it. Back into the corner. Tries to release it back out to the point. Goaltender. Fisher on the face-off. Puck's dropped, one back by the Cyclones. Get to the back wall, try to send it up into the corner. Cusa over to put pressure onto it. Gets a stick, try to kick it back out. Now it's over to Peruto. Centering pass over to Fisher. Intercepted by the Cyclones. Knocked down by Peruto. Sent all the way back out and into the protective netting. So come out to neutral zone face-off.
Team Philly goal scorer number 93, assisted by number 11. Time of that goal, 15 seconds into the first quarter.
Puck's dropped, back over to Peruto, tries to control, back out to Fisher. Fisher tried to get a shot off. Back over to Cusa, sends it back out to the point to Thies. Thies, fake like he was gonna pass, then looks, send to opposite side, back over to Cusa. Odd pass goes off a defender's stick, come across the blue line, Cyclones looking to charge. Good stick by Lang, knocks it down before it could get to Aiden. And that was a slow roll right to Aiden, if you want to call that a shot. Back down. Nichols out on the ice, back with Tobin on the opposite side, cycled around. Lucas alongside the board, look to pick it up, drops it back into the defender. Picked up by Tobin after it cycles back over to Kobe. Kobe drops it back over to Lucas. Lucas taps it forward. Try to get it to a streaking Nichols coming up side. Now it's jumped back in. Lucas. Cyclones come across the blue line. Tobin rubs the defender off the puck. Sends it over to the opposite side to Ricky. Ricky back over to Lucas. Lucas. Opposite side pass. Hit to Kobe. Kobe looking. Centering pass over to Nichols. Knocked down by Lucas. Picked back up. Looking. Opposite side. Sent across to right. Sitting at top side. Kobe into the corner. Nichols over to get some help with him. Ricky keeps it in the zone. Back over the opposite side to Kobe. Kobe centering pass. Try to get Nichols coming up the slot. Back out. Opposite side over to Ricky. Ricky gets a shot off. Redirecting goes into the protective netting. Line change for Team Philadelphia. Luca, Jake, Barthel, Bobst, and Thies out on the ice. Puck drop back out to Thies. Thies gets a shot off. Goalie saves back out to the opposite corner. Luca in chase of it. Cyclone center around to the opposite side. Try to dump it into the neutral zone. Picked up by Thies, back over to Jake. Jake sends it deep. Anthony on the forecheck with Luca. Kick back over. Anthony tries to hold it in. Two-on-two into the corner. Cyclone send it over to the opposite side. Jake over on the retrieve, tries to knock it down, does so. Cyclones try to break out, send it to center ice. Dump it deep. Thies on the back check, back up, picks it up, sends it out to the point, makes its way out to the neutral zone. Cyclones have to reset. Come across center ice, now across the blue line, looking to get past the defenders, unable to do so. Bops sends it all the way up to Lucas. Lucas one-on-one with the goaltender, and he's offsides. Just a little impatient. Send it all the way into the Team Philly defensive zone at the 18:56 mark. Doherty, Fisher, Lucas. Puck's dropped underneath the defender, picked up by Lang. Lang streaks up, looks back, picked up by Doherty. Sent back over to Fisher, tried to chase it into the zone, unable to do so. Doherty tries to send it deep, back over to Fisher. Fisher now sends it deep. Goaltender knocks it down. Lucas back on the forecheck, looking. Centering pass goes right to a defender's skates. Cyclones pick it up, try to clear the zone. That's going to be an icing. (18:28) first half. Lucas on the faceoff. Puck back over to Collin. Collins sets it wide. Delayed offside. Team Philly recycles, comes back active into the zone. Collin there, looked to pick it up. Gets it behind the net and picked up by the Cyclones. Sent it deep, now it's all the way back. Picked up by Lang, no icing. Lang works its way around the side, picks it back up. Now it's back over. It's got a 2-on-1 opportunity. Got Collin on the opposite side. Fisher goes wide. Picked up by Lucas. Back over to Collin. Lucas looks to pick it up himself. Send it back over. Center to Fisher. Fisher couldn't collect. Now it's back over to Tobin. Tobin got a guy on him. Takes a shot. Goes off a defender's stick into the protected netting. 17:42. Puck stop for Fisher. Fisher tries to get it. Cyclones get it. Send it up in the neutral zone. That's no icing. Aiden picks it up. Drops it back opposite side. Picked up by Ricky. Ricky whips on the puck. Peruto picks it up. got Cusa flanking him. Comes across. Cusa drops it back to Peruto. Opposite side, back over to Blake. Sent back out in the neutral zone. Ricky on the back check. That's an offsides. Fisher, puck drop, back over to Blake. Blake up to Peruto. Peruto sends it long, picked back up by Cusa. Cusa comes across. Oh, had a good chance. Tries to get it back. Got dragged down. Not sure where the penalty was on that. Called it dead. Back over. Cyclones send it out in the neutral zone. Krecker knocks it over to the opposite side. Sent deep. Cyclones get it. Try to recycle, come back out into the neutral zone. Peruto's there. Peruto looks to pick it up, does so. Centering pass. Try to get it to Fisher. Goaltender knocks it to the corner. Cyclones cross the blue line. Centers it back. Could not control it. Peruto loses it. Gets it back out. Lucas in a chase for it. Try to knock it to himself. Cyclones get it. Centering pass opposite side, come into the neutral zone. Send it deep. Send it on net. Ada knocks it back. Picked up by Lucas. Lucas. Picked up by Zimmerman. Scores! Picked up by Nichols. Zimmerman with a shot on goal. Picked up by Nichols for the second goal of the game for Team Philadelphia. Puck's down, Nichols gets it, kicks it back opposite side from Thies. Thies up into neutral zone, Zimmerman's there. Sent deep. Aiden swipes at it, knocks it into the neutral zone. Lucas picks it up. Nice toe drag. Opposite side, scores! Gorgeous shot. Lucas with the toe drag hits opposite side to Kobe for the third goal of the game at the 15:32 mark. Puck drop back over to Thies, centers it back over to Bobs. Bobs over to Luca. Luca drops it in. Jake on the opposite side forecheck picks the puck up, sends it back behind the net. Luca back over to capture the puck. Back out. Sent deep. Cyclones knock it down. Picked up by Luca. Now Jake looks to get it on a stick, can't. Barthol's there. Back along. Sends it deep into the corner. Cyclones look to gather. Sent around to the opposite side. Luca knocks it down midair. Picks back up, centering pass. Had Barthol right in the slot. Took a swipe at it. Went off a defender's stick back into the corner. Cyclones look to try to clear the zone. Can't do it. Picked up by Barthol. Sent back out over to Jake. Jake centering pass. Gets knocked down by a defender. Picked back up by Thies at the point. Knocked down right in the slot by a defender. Now Luca gets it, looking for a little bit of help. Both lines been on the ice for a while. That should be an icing call. It'll give both sides a relief at the 15:25 mark. 14:25. Fisher, Mott, Doherty, Tobin, and Wright out on the ice for Team Philly. Puck's dropped. Back out in the neutral zone, picked down by Tobin. Tobin kicks it forward, delayed offsides. Cyclones pick it up. Get a shot off, goes high over top of Aiden's head, picked up by Fisher. Fisher looking, sends it back. Back over to Tobin. Tobin, try to get it over to Ricky. Tobin comes away with it, holds it up. Got a defender on his back pocket, picked up by Fisher. Fisher over on the opposite side, back over to Doherty. Doherty tries to forward it to Lucas. Lucas drops it in. Pick back up. Lucas gets it. Gets knocked off the puck. Back out to the point to Ricky. Ricky move around the defender. Scores! Ricky with a shot. Trickles through the 5-hole at the 13:39 mark. So Team Philadelphia is up 4-0. So Cyclones call a timeout at the 13th. Sorry, it looks like there's a little internet connectivity problem. So 8 teams, top 4 teams as far as points, move on to the playoffs, which start tomorrow. And then the champion then moves on to Ontario, Canada at Sarnia, where they bring together both U.S. regions as well as Canadian region. And moves on to Ontario, Canada at Sarnia, where they bring together both U.S. regions as well as Canadian regions to do a tournament for the Silver Six Championship. All right, so it looks like we're all set again. Colin knocks it forward. Cyclone send it in the neutral zone, picked up by Ricky. Ricky sends it forward. Back out to Lucas. Lucas, back over to Colin. Back out to Lucas. Lucas gets a shot off, goes high over the goaltender's head. Sent deep. Back over to Tobin. Tobin picks it up, cycles it back over, picked up by... It was dangerous. Picked up by Lucas. Lucas comes across, looking for a little bit of help. Opposite side, back to Colin. Colin tried to drop it back over to Fisher. Unable to do so. Cyclones had to reset, had a guy offsides. So wait. Picked back up by Ricky. Ricky back opposite side over to Blake. Blake looks long, and that will be an icing call. Fisher, Peruto, Cusa. Puck's drop. Back opposite side. Back over to Fisher. Fisher looks to get it. Sends long. Back over to Peruto. Peruto, center ice. Taps it back over to Fisher. Streaking up. He's got Cusa with him. Try to get by, and the goaltender put his glove on it. Puck's drop, sent back out. Cyclones regather. It in. Aiden back out of net. Play with it. Drops it over Thies. Thies picks it up. Centers it back over to Krecker. Krecker looks up. Back over to Peruto. No icing. Cusa back over to help. Cyclones get it. Pull it back into their own zone. Try to set something up. Peruto, little token pressure onto the puck. Now comes across center ice. Runs into his own man. Peruto dropped it back to somebody who was there. Now 2-on-1 opportunity. Back over to Aiden. Aiden drops it back to the opposite side. Picked up by Peruto. Got Cusa out on the wings. Got 2 guys with him. Back over to Fisher. Fisher gets a shot off, goes off a defender's stick and goes wide. Back over into the corner, picked back up by Cyclones into the neutral zone. Cusa turns, but gets taken by Cyclone. Bops over to put pressure onto the puck, gets out it, tries to knock it out of the zone. Two guys try to get it out, unable to do so. Bops all the way over to the opposite side. Cyclones looking to get something set up. Lucas back over to put pressure onto him. Picked back up by Kobe. Kobe sends it along to Aiden. Aiden back into the boards. Picked back up by the Cyclone. Cyclone looking to break out. Kobe, good pressure back. Aiden knocks it back into the corner. Sends it back up the boards. Back out to Lucas. Lucas tips it forward. Cyclones look to gather. Send it all the way across the opposite side. Tobin, cleared zone. Tobin comes across the blue line. Looks. Scores. Gets by the goaltender. First I saw that, it looked like it was on the backside of the net, but Tobin streaks down at the 10:22 mark. Again, puts the 5th goal on the board for Team Philadelphia. Looks like Cyclones are rotating the goaltender, so new goaltender in net for them. Looks like they're all set. Punch shot, back over. Kobe sends it back to Tobin. Tobin back to Bops, back over to Lucas. Lucas try to backhand it. Nichols over to help him out. Retrieves the puck, picks it back up, sends it back out to the point. And Aiden gets a little bit of activity. Throws the puck out. So at the 10:01 mark in the first half, Team Philly up 5-0. Barthol with the face-off, knocks it back down. He's got Luca with him. Blake on the opposite side gives it over to Luca. Luca back. Retrieves it back over to Jake. Sends it back over to Luca. Cycles it back. Cyclones gather. Cyclones edge it out, opposite side, send it across crease. Back out to Barthol. Barthol's got a little help with him. Got Jake, got 3-on-2. He's got to cross the line, back over to Luca. Luca gets a shot off, puck's behind him, and scored. That would be Jake Heston. Retrieves the puck. Goaltender couldn't locate it. It was sitting right between his pads. So at the 9:23 mark, Team Philadelphia 6-0. Puck drop, back out to Jake. Jake back over to Ricky. Cycles it back over to Luca. Luca dumps it in, tries to dump it in. Unable to do so. Sent all the way back. Aiden against the wall. Sends it back up. Back over to Luca. Luca opposite side over to Jake, streaking. Got two guys with him. Trailer with Ricky. Back out to the neutral zone. Picked up by Blake. Delayed offsides. Puck rotates all the way back around the opposite corner. Fisher, Mott out onto the big. Lucas looks to pick it up. Try to get over to Fisher. Fisher scores. Fisher sends it on net. 5-hole, 8:45. Puck's one back, sent up to the neutral zone, picked up by Blake, back over to Fisher. Fisher loses it, back in the neutral zone, picked back up. Wright does a good job of getting it in front of the puck. Now Lucas, or Aiden, excuse me, puts a glove on it. So normally in a 6-goal differential they run the clock, but in the Silver Sticks they do it after when the second period starts. Puck's dropped, send back out over to Blake. Blake sends it up, tries to clear the zone, still in. Now it's outside the zone. Fisher sends it over to the opposite side, back over to Colin, picked up by Lucas. Lucas try to get it back over to Fisher. Fisher drops it back. Lucas is there. And it's stuck on the backside of the net. Line change. Fisher, Prudo, Cusa. Krecker right. Fisher drops back. Cusa with a shot. Goes over top of the goaltender's head. Back over to the boards for Cusa. Cusa comes in. Back out. Fisher with a shot. Wrister. Top shelf at the 7:59 mark. Listening to the Team Philly bench saying 5 passes before the next shot, so hold off. Fisher, Prudo, Cusa. Puck's dropped, back out, over to Prudo. Prudo, back over to Fisher. Fisher, shot, and that's the score. So 9-0 first half, picked up by Bops. Bops sends up, back over to Kobe. Kobe sends it forward. Picked up by the Cyclones, try to get outside the zone. Lucas is there, sends it deep. Hit the referee and then sent all the way deep. No icing call. Picked up by Thies. Thies back over. Sent back along to Lucas. Lucas centering pass back over to Nichols. Nichols comes across the blue line. Back over to Kobe. Sent behind him. Couldn't get it on his strong side. Picked back up to Thies at the point. Sent back over to Nichols. Nichols centering pass goes across the crease. Back out to Kobe to the Bops at the point. Sent deep all the way around to the opposite side. 7 minutes left in the first period. Back out to the point to Thies. Thies sends it deep. Back over to Kobe on the opposite side. Nichols tries to pick it up. Cyclones get it. Clear to the zone. Picked up by Bobst. Bobst holds up. Waits. Sends it back up to Kobe. Back into the neutral zone. Cyclones gather. Jake charging forward. Back check by Bobst. Bobst comes up ice, center. Loses it back in the neutral zone. Nichols tried to knock it away. Swung around the net. Back over to the opposite side. And Aiden with a glove save. .601 first period. Puck's dropped. Sent back out opposite side. Centering pass. Gets knocked down front of the net. Jake's there. Picked back up by Tobin. Tobin back over to right. Right, looks up. Kicks it forward. Barthol looking to chase it down. Centering pass back over to Tobin. Tobin back out to Barthol. Barthol sends it deep. Back into Luca over in the corner. Turnover. Cyclones pick it up. Now come across center ice. Now blue line. Aiden with a nice steer into the protective netting. Lucas on the face-off, back into the corner. Ricky gets it. Tries to maneuver around a defender, does so. Kick back up, Fisher looking. Center ice, back over to Lucas. Lucas thought about Colin, now sends it back over. Shot. Centering pass, back over, opposite side. Picked back up by Lucas. Tries to get a shot. Goes over the top of the goaltender's head. Picked back up by Doherty. Doherty sends it back over to Lucas. Oh my gosh. Picked up by Fisher. Fisher sends it back over to Doherty. Doherty. Try to get a shot off. Swipes it back. Back out to the point to Tobin. Tobin. Goaltender had it as breadbasket, didn't think he had it. Refs call it dead. 4:18 left first period, 9-0 Team Philadelphia. Puck drop, back Peruto gets a shot off. Goaltender had no idea it was coming at him, went over top of the net, picked up by Fisher. Fisher looking, send it back out to the top, back opposite side to Blake. Blake looked like a shot attempt, but sends it back behind the net. Picked up by Cusis. Got Blake coming in. Oh, goes off the crossbar. Picked back up by Thies. Thies. Back over to Fisher. Fisher, Peruto. Back over to Fisher. Jumps his stick. Tap forward, back opposite side, and that's an offsides. Fisher, face off. Jump back, picks it back up. Cusa comes away with it after a battle at the blue line. Comes back up. He's got Peruto with him. Tries to make his way through. Does look like a hook. Guess a no call. Back out to Krecker at the point. Nice kick save by the goaltender. Line change. Back over to Fisher coming across. Got Cusa with him. Cusa back at the point. Try to hit Peruto coming across center ice. Back over to Bops. Recovers it. Bops sends it up. And that's going to be an offsides. They regroup. Cleared the offsides. Back over. Tap forward and out of play. Should be face off in the neutral zone. 2:29 left first period. Puck's dropped back over to Nichols. Nichols to Bops, sends it deep. Goaltender knocks it down. Lucas back over to pick it up. Sent around the opposite side. Now it's picked up. Nice save by Aiden. Lost stick by Tobin. Comes down Nichols. Cross center ice. Looks. Gets a shot off. Dumps it back over to Bops. Bops kicks it in the neutral zone. Tap back. Goaltender goes way down to knock that back. Nichols back into the corner. Looks to shuffle it out. Cyclones get it. Try to clear the zone. Lucas picks it up. Try to make his way around a man. Picked up by Kobe. Kobe dropped over to Richard. And that goes into the bench. So 1:25 left first period. Line change, Jake, Luca, Anthony, with Blake and Ricky out on the ice. Puck drop, picked back up by Jake. Jake backhand. Back out to Luca. Luca to the point to Blake. Blake back over to Luca. Mild shot attempt by Anthony, almost gathered by Jake. Cyclones get it. Now it's back out to Jake. Jake looking. Cycles it back. Centers it. Back over to Barthel. Barthel back over to Jake. Jake gets a shot off and goes wide. Back out to Blake. Cyclones trying to clear the zone. 44 seconds left in the first half. Back over to Blake. Blake sends it up in the neutral zone. Cyclones gather it. Send around opposite side. Line change for Team Philadelphia. Set all the way back. Hayden gets it. Sends it up the boards. Picked up by Luca. Shot attempt goes wide. Back to the back wall. Ricky's there. Picked up by Colin. Colin's got Barthel streaking out. He's got Luca with him, opposite side. And glove saved by the goaltender. Lucas, Ben, Colin, Blake and Ricky. Puck's dropped back out to Ben. Ben gets shot off and tried to redirect by Colin. Lucas picked it up. Centering pass all the way to the opposite side. Picked up by Ben. Cycled back over to Colin. Colin, centering pass back over to Blake. And the shot attempt goes up and over the net, but wouldn't have counted after that. All right, folks. So like I stated before, there's two halves to the Silver Six tournament. There's an ice cut in between, so we'll pause for now, and we'll come back. Team Philly's up 9-0. See you folks shortly. right, folks. Looks like we're about active for the second half, excuse me.